earth is not the place for you. Come to my house, I'll take care of you very nicely. I'll dance and entertain you. The young Aztec answered, Women, go on your way. When the time is ripe, I will come to you. He tells women, Go and do your work. When the time is ripe. Time is ripe in the sense when it is the right time for me to be with you, I will come. So, this is the very important sentence in this whole chapter. When the time is ripe, I will come to you. Remember this word. Suddenly, the black knight showed his teeth in flashing of lightning. So, the night was very black. That described from the very beginning that the night was very much black, dark, and all those things. So, in such a night, his teeth, when he was speaking, this is his teeth were like lightning. So, they were like lightning. The monk's teeth, this is his smile. The monk's teeth were like lightning in the black night. The storm growled in the corner of the sky, and women trembled in fear of some unknown danger. So all of a sudden there was storm, which was growling in the corner of the sky, and women trembled in fear. Women are quite delicate, so she started trembling, shivering. She felt very insecure because she thought that some danger would come. A year has not yet passed. A year has not yet passed in the sense, the lady took her leg on the monk's breast, that is the chest, and it is not even a year since that incident has happened. It was evening of the day in April. It was the evening of the day in April, August and April. April is 4, August is 8. So, just 8 months have passed. And it is the spring season. That was the winter season and this is the spring season. The branches of the wayside trees were full of blossom. So it was the spring season. You can see all the trees were full blossom. And there were fruits and flowers and everywhere. It was a nice season. Spring season, Vasant Rutu, is, everybody wants to be a part of spring season. People wish that spring season is there all through the year. No cyclone, nothing. Everything will be very nice. So, there was blossom, there were flowers everywhere. It was a very nice season. So, trees were full of blossom. You need to remember this. That's why I was drawing all those. Gay notes of flute came floating warm spring air from far. Gay means happy, not the other gay, which you know. Happy notes of flute. Happy notes of flute came floating in the warm spring from far off air. So at that time pollution was not there. So the air was moving freely and the air used to carry the very sweet notes of the flute from a very far distance. The citizens had gone to the woods for a festival of flowers. So for the festival of flowers, the citizens had gone to the forest to pluck flowers. From the mid-sky gazed the full moon of the shadows of silent town. So from the mid-sky, imagine that this is the sky. Young moon just came. So the moon just came. This is the moon. It just came from the sky. The moon just came from the dark sky on the shadows of the silent town. So the moonlight was the only light which was a source of light, and that showed the shadows on the silent town. The young Aztec was walking along the lonely street. The young Aztec was walking along the lonely street. He's the Aztec, he's walking lonely on the street. While overheard a loud sick chorus uttered from the mango branches their sleepless paint, while overhead the love sick coals uttered from the mango branches of the sleepless paint. So here there is a mango tree, and there is a person lying here, and the voice is very sweet, and this person is loveless because the picture had shown you before. You can see there is a mango tree over here. Let me show you. There is a mango tree over here, and this is that sweet voice which is loveless, and this is the monk who is walking by. So this person is not able to sleep, sleepless paint. Upagupta passed through the city gates and stood at the base of the rampant. Upagupta passed through the city gates and stood at the base of the rampant. So he passed through the city and stood at the base of the rampant. You can just see. Was that a woman lying at his feet in the shadow of the mango grove, struck with black pestilence, her body spotted with sores of smallpox? She had been hurriedly removed from the town to avoid her poisonous contagion. The ascetic sat by her side, took her on his knees, and moistened her lips with water and smeared her body with sandal balm. Who are you, merciful one? Asked the woman. The time, at last, has come to visit you, and I am here, replied the young ascetic. So, he saw the body of a woman who was thrown out from the city because she had, got infected with smallpox, because smallpox, being a very contagious disease, can spread very far. So she was thrown out of the city, and people used to spit on her. They used to throw stones at her, and she was absolutely devoid of any sort of love. She was trembling with all sorts of sufferings. And since she was infected, nobody even wanted to see her. She was just suffering and suffering and suffering. She didn't know what to do. She couldn't even get up. So at that time, an ascetic sat by her side. The same ascetic she had met some 8 months ago took her head on his knees. He took her head on his knees and moistened her lips with water and smeared her body with sandal balm. During those days, sandal was quite cheaper because it was available. And then he gives water to her, which was very, very important for her. And then she asked him, "Who are you, merciful one?" Because she did not have vision. If smallpox comes, people will use many things. They might lose their eyes, they might lose their nose. They'll be very, very ugly forever in their life. They'll never get back beauty once they're infected with smallpox. They'll have big, big keloid marks on their faces, because the injury is equal to, even burning injuries can be cured, but smallpox lesions can't be cured. Smallpox is actually eradicated in today's world, but if a person gets smallpox, it is understood that they'll either die or live a very miserable life. So she had got smallpox. He smeared her whole body with sandal balm, which is antibacterial, and it doesn't infect other people anymore. So he put sandal on all over her body, and she asked, "Who are you, merciful one?" Because nobody even wanted to look at her. They used to spit on her, throw things at her, and somebody is putting sandal balm on her in such a bad state. "The time at last has come to visit you, and I am here," replied the young ascetic. So he told, "You had asked me long, long ago, 8 months ago. I told you go and do your own work, and now the real time has come when I have to take care of you." So he started taking care of her.